tones of it. This one's very orange, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I love it.
So, good morning. Today is day 324 of Lola's pregnancy. She's just eaten her breakfast before she gets turned out. Yesterday was a torrential downpour, so they didn't get turned out into their usual summer grass. So, well, they did in the morning and then it came on, so they got moved into their stables at like 3 o'clock. So she's been in since 3 o'clock yesterday. It's now about 7:30, so she's not too pleased. But she will get out today onto a bit of an all-weather sort of a pen. It's not made for that reason, but we're going to turn them out there with some hay. I'm just going to show you her udder this morning because it's quite full, but it's more, horses in foal get a thing called edema. It's more like fluid rather than actual milk. Because she's probably been standing in for a few hours, it's likely that it's more edema than bag. So I'm going to show you that now. So if we look in here, you'll see it is quite full, but the top of it is quite full. So this part here, so it's not really a full bag in my opinion. It's more fluidy around the top and stuff from her standing in all day. And then her bum is not that jiggly. Her tailbone is about the same as it has been, a wee bit more pronounced. You jiggly on this side? A wee bit. Not majorly. And her tail goes to about there. So, we're getting there. Not quite there yet. She's getting a big feed of oats, Speedy Beat, hay cobs, and her Forage Plus, and her Alpha A oil. Dengie chaff. She needs her mane cut very badly, but I'll do that in a wee while. You enjoying that? She said, yes, so good, thank you, Mom. So, we're day 324. Lola's just come in. I'm actually quite shocked, aren't I, Lola? Yeah, at the way her belly looks tonight. I'm sorry, I'm trying to close the stable door. It's like, where is it? Find it? Okay, so I don't know if you can see, but Lola's belly has suddenly become quite a V shape. I'll turn the camera around and show you actually, because it's a lot easier to see that way. So you can see it's substantially lower than it was. Sorry, she's just having the time of her life here with all the hay she could ever want. And 2 feeds, one that she knocked everywhere and one that she kind of finished. I'm sure she'll finish them during the night, but anyway. I'll get down here and show you. So, we're very low. There's not a huge amount of movement. There is a little bit that I can see. I'll show you her udder. Good girl, Lola. It's coming along. It does shrink at night time still, but I do think that it won't be long. Sure it won't, Lola? Nope. It will not be long till we see what's in there. Oh, that's lovely. Suppose that does show you how high her tail can go right now. Oh, big belly, having a drink. Yeah, having a drink. And then back to some hay. Love it. Just while I'm here as well for a wee update on the whole neonatal isoerythrolysis thing. Say that 3 times fast. I'm not doing the blood test anymore because I'm just going to go down the route of feeding the foal myself for the first 48 hours and not taking the risk. Because I feel like in my head, if the test comes back and says, yes, it's low, you don't need to feed your foal yourself, I'm going to do it anyway. Because I don't trust it. I don't know. And I think if if God forbid then the foal became sick at like a week old, I don't think I could live with myself that I didn't just feed it and not sleep for 2 days. So it could be interesting staying up for 48 hours. I will nap in between times, but realistically I'll probably be like staring at it, making sure it doesn't die. But anyway, that's the update on the milk front. I won't be doing any blood tests. I don't trust it enough, and that's just it. So that'll be it. And I'm getting a new phone this week, so it's coming tomorrow. It's an iPhone 14, so hopefully there'll be some better footage. This phone has no storage, and I can't edit things and save them, so when I'm editing my vlog I can't actually save it to my phone because it doesn't have enough memory. So I had to get a phone with bigger memory. But that's coming tomorrow, so I'm really excited. And on the worm count front, so I did worm count in last week's vlog. It came back medium, so I wormed Lola on Monday, and I have to wait 10 to 14 days until I can do a recount and see if the wormer worked. So Jess has very kindly sent me another testing kit, which I paid for. It's not sponsored, but I just like to give things a shout out. Whatever you see on this vlog, me using it or promoting, it's not because I'm sponsored, it's because I actually use it and I like it. So that's it for tonight. Lola's eating away there very happily, so I'm gonna go home and get a cup of tea and sit on the sofa and be warm in my house while Lola is warm in her house.
What are you shouting about? Huh? Lola, are you happy, girl? Look at the size of you. You're huge. What are you doing? Coming back over? Hello. Yeah, you go up there and I go get Sasha, okay? Lola's having her lunch. Look at the nice blue sky. Sasha's watching very intently, looking for a feed. But she ain't getting one. I'm sorry. You had oats this morning. That's loads. Look at that belly. Dropped right away down. She's a beautiful girl. I want to try and see if I can capture this. I can see the foal moving in this area. It's probably really hard to see on camera. Oh, Lola, don't flick me with your tail. Hey! Hello, big mama. Big mama. What you doing? Why would we get up for our lunch? What would be the point? Lunchtime? Why would we get up for lunch when we can eat it out of a bucket in front of us? Oh goodness, Lola. You're a heavy girl, aren't you? So lovely and sunny. And Sasha's having a wee bit too. Oh, very good girls. Lola, I can't believe you. Yeah, can't be bothered. Titty vision. I can't get in there properly. Lola, stop it. Titty vision.
There we shrunk down again.
She was doing that yesterday. She's out of breath eating that feed.
Oh, it's just such hard work eating this.
You laugh.
No, of course.
Good morning, everybody. It is Sunday morning, so this vlog will be out later this afternoon, but I had a few questions on my Instagram. Sorry, this lighting is not the best and I look terrible. So I had a few questions on my Instagram this week, so I put up a wee question box saying if anybody had any questions about foaling or anything like that, just to put them in there. So you can see Lola there grazing in the background. I did come out to feed her, but Sasha, Lola decided she didn't want her feed, so Sasha is now eating that feed. Sorry, the sun's really badly in my eyes there. One of the questions was, what age can a mare foal to? It's such a spectrum because it depends more on the health of the mare. Lola is 19 this year. She had one foal before. That's also quite important, whether or not they're a maiden mare. Personally, I probably wouldn't put wouldn't have put her in foal if she had never had one before, just because it can be quite hard on their body as well if they haven't had one. And sometimes it can be hard for them to actually get in foal if they've never had one before. So, sorry, it's probably a nicer backdrop with her grazing in the background. So yeah, I probably wouldn't have put her in foal if I had thought that she'd never had a foal. Sasha has had quite a few foals as well. She's only about 8 or 9, so she's in her prime at the minute that way. But I know people that have mares that have had foals successfully, starting at 20, going on late into their late mid-20s, having foals successfully. I do know some people that breed right up to 30, but I probably just wouldn't. It's quite hard on their body, so I wouldn't recommend it. Lola is doing really, really well. She's not old. She's 19, but she's not old. She's coping really well with it. So yeah, that's the first question. So the second question that I got from Instagram was, how did I choose the stallion? So she's in foal to a stallion called Bernhard. He's a KWPN warm blood stallion, Dutch warm blood. He's 16-1. He's the same sort of colour as Lola. He hasn't done anything himself, but he has a lot of youngsters that are out at the minute competing, and they're doing really, really well. So and they're the kind of horse that I like. They're speedy, they're small, they're really good for like show jumping, which is what I do most of. Sorry, I'm squinting so bad, but I can't really see. The sun is so in my eyes right now, even though it's not that sunny today. That's a bit better. I chose him because he seems to be just producing the type of horse that I want. I think the most important thing is to choose a stallion that's going to suit your mare. I didn't want to choose anything too big, like, or a draft or anything like that, because I wanted to give her the best chance possible to get it actually squeezed out, just to be blunt. So that's why I chose him. He's really nice. I went and saw him in person when we dropped her off at the stud, and he's a lovely stallion. So that's why I chose him. I also had to make the decision really fast because at the start I went through 5 or 6 different stallions, and I had decided, and then I hadn't decided, and I even went for a Connemara stallion at one point. But I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I went for the choice that I went for, because I think it'll make the horse that I want. I don't think I wanted a Connemara cross, but you have to think of all these things, and it's when you love your horse so much, it's such a hard decision to make because you're so worried about what might happen to them. It's just one of those things, you have to think about it, and for me I had to make the decision like that and just do it, because if I didn't I was going to change my mind again. So I'm glad I did. I don't want to sit down because the grass is soaking. What do you see this? Like, it's just I don't know if you can see that. Yep, there we go. So I don't want to sit down beside her, but I have a few more questions to answer. So someone asked me what I think the most surprising thing that I've learnt about foaling is. It's really hard to say. I did try and think about this the other night, but I don't know, it's probably just how difficult it is in general to have a pregnant mare. Not difficult, but you have to be so vigilant. And I think just with seeing other people put their mares in foal, you think, oh, that's easy, you just put them in foal and you leave them and they have their foal and it's fine. It's not really like that. So you have to just do all your research, and there's a lot of research to be done and a lot of things that can scare you, and a lot of horror stories that will scare you near to death. But especially on here, I know a few people have lost foals in the last couple of years, so I think it's just how, I knew it was going to be difficult, but I just think I didn't know everything that there was to know about foaling. Of course I'm never going to, but it's just the quantity of things that you can learn, and you'll still be learning. There's people that have foaled thousands of foals and they'll have a mare foal and they'll go, God, I've never seen that before. Do you know, it's just, I think that's the thing about it, is getting into it and realising it's not just put the mare in foal, mare has foal, all is well. I think that's probably the major thing. It's hard to describe, and I have learnt a lot on this journey, let me tell you. Just because I could have just sailed through the whole thing and not learned anything about it and just said, oh, she's fine. But I want to do the best for her, and I want to do the best for the foal as well. So I had to join all the Facebook groups. I had to ring people. I've spoken to, I don't know how many people, vets, stud owners, what do you call those places, foaling centres, everything. So, and I've made all the decisions that I've made based on the information that I've gathered. Yeah, I think that's the most surprising thing, is just how difficult it actually is. Yeah, in general. Sorry, that's probably a bit vague, but anyway. As for surrogacy, so they call it a recipient mare in the horse world. So what happens is, it's like embryo transfer. So you'll inseminate one mare that you don't want to carry the pregnancy, and she'll have an embryo. You scan her, see if she's pregnant, and then the vet will flush it out. So when he flushes it out, then he puts it in another mare, so your recipient mare, and then she carries the pregnancy. So the pregnancy doesn't belong to the recipient mare, so it's not genetically hers, but she will eventually foal this foal and treat it as if it's her own. So it's not like humans, where if you have a surrogate mother, they then give up the baby whenever it's born. They keep it until it's weaned, so until it's off their milk. I'm not gonna lie, it was a thought that crossed my mind in the beginning, but very expensive and it's very finicky, so it's very hard to actually do. And I just knew Lola could carry this foal by herself, so I never had a recipient mare. It's a lot, you have to buy another mare, keep another mare, so it's a lot of an expense and a much harder process. So overall nutrition, the standard is that when a mare's in foal, she doesn't need anything extra until the last 3 months of her pregnancy, and then she needs extra protein and feed or whatever. That's not the way I did it. I kept Lola on her normal 2 feeds, well, 1 feed a day at the start actually. She had 1 feed a day at the start, and she is always on Forage Plus balancer, so she has the hoof and skin balancer by Forage Plus. At the minute she's on the winter one because it has added vitamin E. Vitamin E during pregnancy for mares is so important, so you need to make sure you're supplementing that in their diet, and just making sure they're getting all their omega-3s, so linseed meal. So I'm just watching these two. Sasha's eating Lola's feed, but then getting angry at Lola for trying to get her anyway. Just ignore them. I'll show you. That's probably a bit of a better view rather than just looking at my ugly face, but anyway, just making sure that they have everything that they need. I basically just went for Forage Plus. My friend had a foal last year and she fed Forage Plus the entire time, so they have a balancer, a feed finder on their website, and it's amazing. You can put in your horse's requirements, or like what their main forage is. So at the minute hers would be grass and hay, and they then work out what your horse needs based on what the information that you've given them. So that's really easy. I find it so simple then to just go in and be like, right, I'll buy that, that and that. It is expensive, not gonna lie, but there was no expense spared on this horse during this time, and there never is really, to be honest, because she gets everything that she needs and then some. So nutrition, really, you can do it to the bare minimum. You can give them a stud balancer, you can feed them hay and just normal feed. It's up to yourself what you think is best for your mare. Lola wouldn't be the best doer, so she needed extra to keep her going, but I think she looks really good right now. She was a wee bit ribby there for a while, but her belly's just so huge that it's pulling her down quite significantly. There she's away again. You just sort of have to gauge it. If you need any help with nutrition, just give me a shout, because I'm not a nutritionist, don't get me wrong, but I've looked into it to extreme amounts. So if you do need any help, just send me a message on Instagram or just comment on the video and let me know, and I'll try and help as much as I can, because that's what I'm here for. To spread information and good practice about horses. I don't know. I'm going to do one last question before this is far too long, because I have to actually upload it at some point today. It's, am I going natural or getting the vet out? Now this one, it doesn't really work that way. Horses, yes, if I can avoid having the vet, I will. In a foaling situation, the only reason I would get a vet during the foaling is if it's an emergency. So if something's going wrong and I see maybe there's a leg stuck back and I can't free it up or something like that, the vet will come and see the foal and Lola after the foal has been delivered and it's been up and drinking and I've sorted all that out, and she'll do a IgG test. So it's for, now I might say this wrong, but I think it's immunoglobulin. I'll put it here somewhere. I think it's oh right, never mind. So it basically tests to see if the foal has got enough colostrum in the first 12 hours of its life. So that is the first time the vet will come. Fingers crossed. I don't want to ring the vet. I don't want to need to ring the vet during the foaling. So it's, I hope that answered your question. It doesn't really work that way in horses, and we can't humanise these things. Hopefully the vet will only need to do the day after check and all will be absolutely fine. So that's it for this week's vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. We're day 328 and we still have no foal. No Lola, no foal here yet. So hopefully, maybe, I'm thinking next week 4's vlog could have the new arrival in it. We don't know, but we'll soon find out, and keep tuned in on my Instagram, because that'll be, just watching her, she's coming. That'll be the first place that you see anything about the foal. So keep watching on there and you'll see next week's vlog, and there might be a foal in it, there might not be. I might not get it out on time depending on how busy I am. So yes, head over to my Instagram and just make sure you're staying tuned on there, and I'll see you next week.